Now that we have these signed numbers around, we would of course like to do arithmetic to them. The good news is that same vector picture of addition that worked for us in the whole numbers is going to work for us now that we have negative numbers as well. So I'm going to draw several pictures, and then we'll see if we can come up with a general rule. We know what happens when we add two positive numbers together, but I'm going to start there just for completeness. All right, let's say we want to add positive 2 plus positive 3. And of course we know that that's going to give us positive 5. What does that look like on a number line? Well, we draw the vector positive 2 and the vector positive 3. And then we pick up positive 3 and set it down so that it begins where positive 2 ends. And we see that the result is the vector positive 5. All right, now we'll see a couple of cases where the first number is negative and the second number is positive. Let's try positive 2 plus negative 3. We'll start with the vector positive 2, the vector negative 3, and then we'll pick up our negative 3 and set it down so that it begins where positive 2 ended. And we'll see that the result starts from 0 and ends at negative 1. So positive 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. Let's see what happens the other way around. What if we want to take positive 3 plus negative 2? Notice now the positive number is larger. That is, the positive number is further from 0. Again, we'll start with our vector positive 3, and then we'll draw in our vector negative 2. We'll pick that up, and we'll set it down so that it begins where positive 3 ends. And we see our result starting from 0 and ending where negative 2 ends. Here the result is positive 1. Let's try some with the first number negative now. Let's say we want to take negative 2 plus positive 3. Drawing again the number line. First we draw our negative 2, then we draw our positive 3. We take our positive 3 and move it to begin where negative 2 ends. And we see that the result is positive 1. What if we take the negative number to be further from 0, right? What if we take negative 3 plus positive 2? Drawing again the number line. First we draw our negative 3. Then our positive 2. Pick up our positive 2 and set it down so that it begins where negative 3 ends. We see that the result is going to be negative 1. Okay, last possibility, right? What happens if both are negative? What happens if we want to add negative 3 plus negative 2. Now I'm drawing the number line this way because I know what's going to happen. We draw our negative 3 and our negative 2. Pick up our negative 2 and set it down so it begins where negative 3 ends. Oh, this is different, right? We see that the result is negative 5. Okay, let's look at what happened here. These 4 have something in common, right? In each of these 4, the result was either positive or negative 1. In each of these, the numbers we were adding together had opposite signs. So our vectors were in opposite directions. What happened? Well, the sign of our result, well, negative 3 was the longer vector. Our result was negative. Positive 3 was the longer vector. Our result was positive. Positive 3 was the longer vector. Our result was positive. Negative 3 was the longer vector. Our result was negative. And then, remember we said, all 4 of these results are some kind of 1. How would we put together 3 and 2 to get 1? We'd subtract. And that tells us what numeral we're going to attach either to our positive or to our negative sign. In this example and this example, the numbers we were adding together had the same sign, either both positive or both negative. In those cases, our vectors were in the same direction. In this case, well, when we added 2 positive numbers, of course, we got a positive result. When we added 2 negative numbers, we got a negative result. When we add together numbers with the same signs, the result has the same sign as the numbers we started with. If we go to the right and then more to the right, we end up to the right of 0. If we go to the left and then more to the left, we end up to the left of 0. Not a surprise. And because our vectors go in the same direction, we add their lengths together. So notice both of these results were some kind of 5, positive 5 and negative 5. Let the picture be your guide. Don't look at this as a list of rules to memorize. Look at this as a summary of what we saw in the pictures. So just to do another example, let's say we decided to add negative 28 plus 15. Right, thinking about the pictures, we would start at 0, go 28 to the left, and then come back 15 to the right. Note 15 is smaller than 28, right? So the vector going to the right is shorter than the vector going to the left. We ended up to the left of 0, so our answer is going to be negative. These are partly canceling each other out, so we want subtraction. Eight minus 5 is 3, 2 minus 1 is 1. Our result is going to be negative 13.